Hey guys, what's up? My name is Mohammed Satafashmi and welcome back to my channel. तो मैं वीडियो को स्टार्ट करने से एक बात बताता हूँ कि नीचे जो रेड कलर का बटन है उसको ग्रे कर दो एंड ये वाला जो वीडियो है दिस इज बेसिकली एन इंट्रोडक्टरी पार्ट ऑन ES6 दैट इज ECMA स्क्रिप्ट 6 in JavaScript. Basically it's not even that, it's basically this video में हम लोग ना JavaScript के past history के बारे में जानेंगे and you know how expressive I am, right? So yeah, this video can be very very long, so be prepared. It can be, I don't know, it can be really long, I feel like. Whatever, without any further delay, let's get into this. So this is JavaScript. We're gonna read through this, okay? We're gonna read through everything and we're gonna go through the timestamps, like what happened in 1994, what are the different things, you know, till 2018, getting a very brief idea about every damn thing which is being talked about here. You know, there are so damn many a fucking lot of thing has to be covered today. So hopefully, so basically मेरे को एक स्लाइड से दूसरा स्लाइड में like जो प्रॉपर स्लाइड है उसको स्विच करने में थोड़ा सा टाइम लगेगा and as you know this video is so big so I cannot edit it because you know my laptop is very low end and whatever. So basically from my side expressing and explaining you things उसमें कोई कमी नहीं होगी. Okay guys, okay it's what the fuck is hanging, looks like that, but okay we'll manage. जैसे कोई चीज़ को देख लेंगे उसको हम लोग कट कर देंगे, उस टैब को क्लोज कर देंगे because there are too many tabs and my laptop can go slow. It's already going slow. Whatever guys, so welcome. Let's start reading. JavaScript versions ES6 and before. What is the full form of ES6? I think I have ECMA or ES6 already open. It should be open. ECMA here. No. Okay, bro. Okay, here are the new tabs, I guess. Yeah, so the new old tabs are here. Let me explain this. ES6 full form is ECMA script 6. Okay, this version or say update of JavaScript was brought into year 2000 and let me show you year 2015 here. ECS6 was released, you know, with a lot of features. What are the features? We will be going into them soon. I am gonna slow down because if I'll not slow down I'll miss the slides and the information there and whatnot. I love you guys, whatever. And before, like pre ES6, what are the versions before, you know, ES6 was released? Even after ES6 there are many like versions released. ES7, ES8, ES9, ES9? No, ES 2018 has been released, and before ES6, that is 2015, there are many versions of ECMA script or say JavaScript releases were there. Okay, whatever, do we care? Yeah, we care. तो आगे बढ़ते हुए हम लोग देखते हैं. Ever heard of the term ES6? Have you? Yeah, now you have. And wondered what it's about? Okay, I didn't. I knew what it was from the time I was born, the time my mom gave birth to me. Click on this article to read out. Okay, we have already clicked, so article is opened. You might have seen the term ES6 or JavaScript ES6, okay, and wondered what it actually means. Well, wonder no further because we are going to dive into what ES6 is and how it relates to JavaScript. Got it? Like कैसे वो relate करता है JavaScript से, उस चीज़ के बारे में हम लोग जानेंगे. So first let's bring in some history. Okay, we're gonna go through the past of JavaScript. Like there is a rich past of JavaScript. Okay, there is a legacy of this JavaScript. First, let's bring in some history. JavaScript was introduced in the year 1995. So in the year 1995, this scientist Braden Eric, this is the, I think the slide. Braden Eric, this is the scientist. This was a computer technology executive. Basically, he created JavaScript in 10 days. He was so intelligent or something, right? And it was already not named even as JavaScript. Usko kya naam tha? It was named Mocha, M-O-C-H-A, Mocha, yeah, Mocha, however you pronounce it, brah. So Brain Eric is an American computer programmer and technology executive. He created JavaScript programming language. and also the Mozilla project, Mozilla Firefox project, I guess, whatever. We're going to talk about everything related to JavaScript. We're going to focus, हम लोग ज़्यादा focus करेंगे JavaScript के ऊपर. Okay. So let's bring in some history. JavaScript was introduced in the year 1995 by the company Netscape Communication as a scripting language for web designers and programmers to interact with web pages. You all know, right? Ki like JavaScript basically makes the web pages more alive and interactive. Unlike my life. The next year, Netscape submitted JavaScript to a standard developing organization called ECMA International to create standard for JavaScript language, a type of programming language. So basically, Netscape, which was a private company then, submitted this JavaScript program to ECMA International. It was also a company that, we'll read about them more in detail, but okay. So basically, to create standards and to make it a scripting language. Like there is one thing, bro. One thing I would like to tell you. Thoda sa beer with me, bro. Okay, what is the difference between Java and JavaScript? That must be a question in your head, right? So basically, JavaScript is what we are learning is basically, or say specifically, object-oriented scripting language. All right, whereas Java is object-oriented programming language. See, programming and scripting, there's a difference. Scripting and programming. All right. It's a JavaScript is a scripting language. In 1997, ECMA International released ECMS 262, or say ECMA version 1, or say JavaScript's ECMA version 1, or say the first JavaScript with with scripting standards were first brought into existence by ECMA internationally. Okay, sets the standards for the first version of scripting language called ECMA script, or shortened as ES. ECMA script. E for ECMA, S for script. Alright guys. These new ECMA script standard provides rule for architecture for JavaScript features as new programming, what the word for paradigm or whatever, how to say it. Basically paradigm means basically concepts in JavaScript. Okay, let me just bring it back. So a new programming concept emerged and developers sought a new feature. A newer version of ECMA script provided basis for consistency between new and old JavaScript versions. So basically the ECMA version 1, or say which was released in 1997, or say ECMA 262, there are various names for that. So basically that was an updated version. It also included the past version, that was the JavaScript, or say Mosh version, that was created by the scientist. What was the name of the scientist? We know, right? Brendan Eric, his version of JavaScript, and a new standard setting wala JavaScript. Bhai samajh mein to aa raha hai na bra. Newer version of ECMA script will provide a basis. Okay, we did that. To fully distinguish the difference between JavaScript and ECMA script, if you want to create apps or programs, you can use JavaScript. What the fuck is there? If you want to create an app or program, you can use JavaScript for sure. If you want to create web pages, or if you want to create apps or say programs, you can use JavaScript. If you want to create a new scripting language, you can follow the guidelines in ECMA script. What the fuck? We creating a new scripting language like JavaScript? Yes, you can do that by following the guidelines of ECMA scripts. So when you see ECMA or JavaScript, it means that the version of JavaScript is following specification in the 6th edition of JavaScript. Basically, when people say ECMA 6 or say ES6 or say JavaScript version 6, they're basically pointing towards the updated version which came in the year 2015. This one, ECS, was released with let const, default, parameter values, and many more methods, array methods. We'll go into that soon, but you understanding now the very basics of this. But both terminologies are referred to as 6th edition of JavaScript, released in the year 2015. We discussed that right now. Take a look at the timeline below and see how JavaScript evolved in years. So we are going to dive deep into this. We need to calm down. We're going to go through each and everything which is written here, each and every text, each and every term. And then we will read and finish this off. And I'm pretty sure this is going to take more than an hour. Sit back, sit with me, read through this if you are interested. The Netscape web browser was launched. Okay, let me show you a Netscape web browser. Let me show you the Netscape web browser. I have a picture for that. Netscape web browser. I think this is the Netscape web browser. Bro, it used to look like this. Do you have any idea how cute it looks? Look at this one. This is the Netscape web browser. It looks like it was running on, maybe it's running on Macintosh, I guess, but doesn't it looks like as if it's running on something like Windows XP or something. Look at it. We have location and things like that. This is Netscape web browser version 1.1n. Okay, you get this, right? It's a Netscape web browser. Okay, it was very exciting, right? The Netscape web browser was launched in the year 1994. Okay, what is a browser used for? Searching sites and things. Okay, in 1995, the Brendan Ehrlich. I'm sorry for saying that wrong so many times. Brendan Ehrlich, you know Brendan Ehrlich, that scientist, or say the programmer who invented JavaScript in 10 days and named it Mosh. Invented JavaScript for Netscape. You know, he invented the JavaScript programming language so that the browser, the Netscape browser, would become more interactive. समझ रहे हैं? And in the same 1995, Netscape's IPOD. What's IPOD? IPOD was launched. Let me show you what IPOD is. Give me a second, bro. I have a very okay. Netscape IPO. It's nothing. IPO नहीं होता है कुछ. It's IPOD. Basically, IPO's full form is initial public offering. Basically, you know that, right? Netscape was a very private company kind of thing. So in order to make it how to say it, bro? In order to make it public, the company's committee decided that they want to just public it by sharing the shares to the public. They started to do business, bro, basically. What's this? ECMS script. These are the different versions of JavaScript, and the editors who brought those changes in them. The biggest update so far now is ECMS6. We'll learn about it later on. Let me search few more things on, give me a second, bro. I don't want to miss any slide for you, right? Wanted to know more about IPODs. Yeah, this is Netscape initial public offering. So basically what they did, they started to sell it. Okay, oh fuck, let me just show you. Let me search for the meaning. Give me a second, bro. This is such a... Basically, they started to sell that for a certain price. They started to sell it for certain dollars. There were around like 14 members at the very beginning. Let me show you. Let me click on this and show you. Give me a few seconds time, guys. It's loading so slow. So slow. It's so slow. Oh, I'll die. Let me just open this only. Yeah, here you can just give a look at here. Netscape's initial public offering. Basically, they just sold their shares to the public to make it a public public company. So there were around like I think I don't know how many members were there at the very, I think there are 14 members or something at the very beginning. See the group members name like Sri Dinkies KS, Srishti Roy, Indians. What the fuck, bro? Tony Sebastian, Saman Sukhwan. What the fuck? We Indians are in the year 1997 too. That's good. I'm sorry, 1995 too. That's good. That's too old. Just calm down, okay? So that was basically Netscape IPOD. Basically means the Netscape, that private company, was basically that was done public by sharing the shares, by making the public the shareholders of the company. Microsoft created Internet Explorer web browser, the most hated web browser of all time. Whatever, that was created in the year 1995. The first web browser was the Netscape web browser, as per the timeline goes. And in the year 1996, the Opera web browser was launched. We all know, right? We just need not to search that. Opera, you have seen Opera web browser, right? There is a squirrel there, whatever. In 1997, the first ECMS script or ES1 was launched. And we all know this ES1, this first edition, was launched with the help of ECMA, the company, and the editor was their Guy L. Sterling Jr. Okay, I cannot show his face or something. His face is like this. He looks like the founder of, I should say things, founder of Opera web browser. Whatever. Okay, let's move forward. In the year 1998, ECMS Script 2 or ES2 was launched with additional changes to ES1. Okay, with some changes with ES1, though it was not very prominent, not such a big change in the scripting language, but it was some of the changes. So additional changes kept in specific in the fully aligned ISO EC and whatever international standard. So Mike, who was this, bro? So this is our person. His name is Mike Kaulishwan. He brought some changes to ECMS Script 2. So that was also launched. Scientist after scientist, bhai. And in the same year, 1998, the Mozilla Firefox was launched, which we are using, Mozilla Firefox. Okay. And in the year 1999, ECS3, ESCMA Script 3 was released, allowing for regular expression and try-catch statements. Now, before we just come to realize what is regular expressions and try-catch statements, let's see who created it. In the December month 1999, edition 3rd was brought into existence, added regular expressions, better string handling, new control statements, basically try-catch expecting handling and regular expressions were the main updates of ECS6. Tighter definition of errors, formulating numeric output and other enhancements. This thing, like tighter definition of errors, getting a specific error for a specific wrong done in the code. Basically, Mike Kausho, this person again, this person again did this thing. Mouse Kausho, I don't know how to say his name. I'm interested. You should be. Let's keep moving forward. No, let's come to know what is regular expressions and try-catch statements. I have a very good slide explaining that. Regular expressions and regular expressions. Yeah, this is regular expressions, proper definition. A regular expression is the method or say pre-installed functions in JavaScript. The verbs in JavaScript, methods are called verbs in JavaScript, used in programming for pattern matching. What does that mean? Regular expressions provide flexible and concise means to matching strings of text. For example, a regular expression could be used to search a large volume of text and change all occurrence of cat to dogs. You're getting this, right? In this web page, if we type Control F and we type here, say dog, so we can see dog is here, right? So using catch and try thing, using the regular expression thing, you can change dogs to sadaf, you can change dog to ECMS script, you can change, you know, the text to something else, to a friend, enemy, cheater, anything you can type in there. Bro, I'm so tired. Whatever. Let's, oh god, why did I do it? So we did the regular expression thing. You got regular expression kya? Basically we can search and manipulate strings, as simple as that. Regular expression does what? Searches strings and manipulates that, basically changes that. Got it? And what is catch and try statement? Okay, basically there are catch and try blocks, the try catch blocks in JavaScript. In this case, an execution occurs. Basically in this code, arithmetic exceptions occurs. An exception is caught by catch block and executes the code inside the catch block. I don't know how to explain it, bro, but basically imagine a piece of code is being executed by the program. At the very same time, it is being scanned or say tested for errors, you know, as if there is some statement error, syntax error. Got it? That's called try and catch statements. It will try executing it as well as catch the errors there. Try executing it and catch the errors inside the block of code, blockchain of code, whatever. So let's come back to it. Where were we, brah? So basically ES3 brought two of these main things. Number one was regular expressions. Regular expressions, what? It searches strings, a text, and manipulates them. And try and catch statements. Try statement basically tries to execute the program as well as at the very same time tries to, or say catches errors inside the block of code. Now this is something very interesting happened from the year 2000 and 2008, 2000 to 2008. What was the fuckery there? Let's see. The release of ECMS script 4, the version 4 of JavaScript was abandoned. That never actually happened. We have ES5 directly. All right, we have ES5.1, we have ES5 and ES5.1, but we don't have ES4. Why? Because due to the difference in committee opinions, okay, there were some conflicts going on in the committee. During this time, Firefox, Mozilla Firefox, which you are using, Apple Safari and Google Chrome web browsers were introduced to the public. Web languages also became more advanced after HTML5 went public. Now there are different versions of HTML. We are not interested because we are learning JavaScript. It's only fucking our head. यही हम लोग का दिमाग fuck कर दिया, bro. So yeah, basically this is all about ES4. ES4, yeah. If anyone asks what happened to it, it was never actually brought into existence. It was just abandoned by the committee. Okay, let's read what happened in 2009. ES5 was launched and that sharpened up standard for strict mode. Now what is, okay, let's read. ES5 was brought into existence and it came with features like strict mode, JSON support and more methods for strings and arrays. Any more, I'll show you what do I mean by more methods, or say more pre-installed functions or more actions you can do to strings and arrays, you know, block containing different elements. Okay, we'll move forward and we'll see what does, let me just show you something. Okay, yes, this strict mode, you know, ES5 was brought in a new feature called strict mode. Strict mode was a new feature in ECMS6 or say JavaScript version 5 that allows you to place a program or a function in a strict operating context. Now what does that mean? Strict mode changes previously accepted bad syntax into real errors. Now what is meant by that, previously accepted? Bro, before ES5, ES3, ES4 was not into existence, but ES3, ES2 and ES1 and JS, there were, you know, the versions of JavaScript, weren't they? Were not there. They were there, right? So basically in it, you know, if you type in a certain code, you know, with some errors. It used to take it. And used to like perform some actions. Naki like telling like it's a real error. What do I mean by it more? I'll show you here. As an example, in normal JavaScript, mistyping a variable name creates a new global variable. What the fuck? You see? Okay, global variables are those variables which can be accessed throughout the code. They are not inside those curly brackets. The codes which are inside the curly brackets are local variables. So basically, it made the variable globally accessible, throughout the code accessible. If you just even typed a variable name wrongly in older versions of JavaScript. In strict mode, in ES5, in the new version of JavaScript, this will throw an error, making it impossible to accidentally type a global variable. Hopefully it's clear, right? Hopefully it's clear. We'll move forward. Yeah. So at the same time, you know, strict mode JSON support was also launched. Now, what does JSON support actually means, bro? JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. JSON, JavaScript Object Notation, is a lightweight format for storing and transmitting data. What do I mean by that? We'll read it more. Transferring data, storing data are not variables enough. We'll see that, bro. We'll see that. JSON is often used when data is sent from a server to a web page. From a server, this Google server is there somewhere in USA, Silicon Valley, California, maybe. From there, the data is sent to the web browser, us here, using JSON. JSON is self-describing and easy to understand. JSON is an open standard file format, interchange format use human readable text to store and transfer data. Object consisting of attribute, values, and pairs. Okay, let me show you something more in this one. Here, give a look. Basically, you know, the values which you put in JSON are stored as a white space, and that white space can handle a lot of values. It can handle string, numbers, object arrays, booleans, and null data type, and then store it and transmit it into a web browser as a white space. Hopefully it's clear, right? Hopefully it's clear. There's nothing more into that, bro. Okay, don't just panic on it. Okay, and more methods for strings and arrays. Okay, let me show you what do I mean by more methods in strings arrays. Yeah, there are 10 methods for JavaScript. Okay, till now, I guess in 2013. Is the old version? No. When was this ECMA was launched? 2009? Yeah, 2009 ES5 was launched. So basically this is the updated version on what are the different methods and functionalities provided in JavaScript arrays and texts and strings. Okay, the following are the top 10 methods for JavaScript, or say top 10 actions you can perform in JavaScript. Hopefully my video is getting recorded. I'll kill myself otherwise. Oh yeah. They are the most voted questions for, okay, whatever. Number one is declaring an array. Okay, number one method is declaring an array. No, we can declare an array like that. Printing an array in JavaScript. Okay, we can print an array too. We can create an array list from an array. Okay, that looks interesting. Check an array contains a value. Okay, no, the thing with this is like checking if a certain kind of an element is present inside an array, inside this, you know, if A is actually present or not. These outputs are kind of boolean. If say A is actually present, then the output would be true. So basically the outputs are boolean. Concatenate two arrays, basically joining two arrays. Concatenate is the other word for joining. So we can even join two arrays. This is the method using add all. The add all method. Here is this dot operator used and the add all method used to concatenate. You know, this is concatenate different types of two arrays. Declare an array align. You can declare an array align method, new string, and this you can use this how to say template to do that. Joins the element of provided array into a string text. Okay, we can do this to print ln j is the string's name, whatever, bro. This is complicated. This is complicated shit here right now. We'll not get into that because we just want to get an overview of everything which you're reading. Convert an array list to an array. Okay, you can convert an array list to an array too. Convert, basically array list means this is an array, this is an array, this is an array. Basically collecting all of them and putting into an array. This is called converting into an array. Convert an array to a set. Okay. Reverse an array. You can 1 2 3 4 it was, you can say it like reverse it. How do we do that? We can do that reverse using the reverse method. Reverse, and in the brackets we put the array's name. So basically the output would be, it would reverse the array. Remove element from an array. You can remove an element from an array. This is also done by a method. One more, convert it into byte array. So basically it can also be converted into a byte array. Alright, that's not even important. We are basically knowing what are the different methods provided in JavaScript. Okay, chill about that. Okay, let's come back. Okay, for now I just need some pause. I'm just feeling very low. So yeah, welcome back. So देख के पता चल ही रहा है कि like you know कितना ज़्यादा theoretical part ये हो रहा है of this reading everything and explaining. So basically we saw you know different types of methods and strings जो introduce हुए थे 2009 के बाद. 2009 में ES5 में बहुत सारी चीज़ें introduce किया था. So अब 2009 में हम लोग Node.js का नाम तो सुना ही होगा तुम लोग, right? Is launched to allow JavaScript code to execute outside the browser. Now this is interesting. Node.js basically allows you to execute code outside a browser. I don't get you. You mean outside web development? Let's see what we mean by that. I think we have Node.js here, React, Node.js, Angularjs, Node.js, React, Node.js. Bruh, what the fuck? Where did I get lost? Node.js. Let's see, where is that Node.js thing? Node.js, React, Electron, Vue. Where is the Node.js tab? Node.js. Whatever, let's type it. Node.js. What is Node.js? Node.js. Basically, Node.js is an open source cross-platform back-end JavaScript runtime environment that runs on version 8 engine and execute JavaScript code outside a web browser. Isn't it insane? Node.js is primarily for non-blocking, event-driven services due to its single-threaded nature. Single thread means a sequence of code which can be independently executed by a compiler. It used for traditional websites and back-end API services, but was designed for real-time push-based architecture in mind. Basically, this is you know, if you talk about real time, and if you're talking about because due to like less threads and things, basically it means that it's kind of very reactive model of JavaScript, you know. Okay, hopefully you don't know that. Whatever. So basically Node.js help us to even execute code outside the web browser, and is used to create web pages and things like that. That's not the important thing. Then we have Angularjs. Now Angularjs framework was released and grew popularity with its object-oriented and reactive programming. Object-oriented programming. Before it was scripting. JavaScript was scripting, but with Angularjs, as it was introduced. What is reactive? I will answer all of that fucking questions. Let's see, where is the slide? Angular, right? We are reading about Angular, which was released in the year No, we are reading Angular in the year 2010. Where is it? Angular ECM is 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. What the fuck? We have ECM at 12 too. What the fuck? Let's close this. This fucks it up more. Angularjs. Okay, Angularjs is a JavaScript framework where written in JavaScript. Angularjs is distributed as a JavaScript file and can be added as a web page and scripting tag. Okay, let's see. Angularjs was a script-based open source front and web framework for developing single pages applications. Single page applications. Example, I don't know what could be an example of that. Have you seen those apps? Okay, let me show you an app in my phone which is kinda single. I have no apps like that, but just imagine if this was okay, basically you can just play around here, but you cannot click and go into different pages. That simply means single page applications. It was maintained by Google and community for individual. It was maintained by mainly Google and a community of individual and corporations. Isn't it cool? Google developed this. Angularjs looks cool to me. What is Angularjs used for? Angular is a structural framework for dynamic web pages. As we all know, JavaScript makes the pages dynamics. So Angularjs, this is a framework, makes it more dynamic. With Angularjs, designers can use HTML and the templates language, and it allows the extension of HTML syntax to convey application component effortlessly. Angular makes much more code to you otherwise have write completely redundant. Basically, you don't have to write things from scratch. It's gonna provide you templates. Whatever, brah, we need to run fast now. And what is reactive programming? What is meant by reactive programming too? We will explain to you that. What is a thread? We should know that too, right? In computer science, a thread of execution is the smallest sequence, or how to say, a part of a concept's instructions that can be managed independently by a scheduler, which is typically a part of operating system. Got it? Tu samjha? Tu nahi samjha. Basically, how to say it, bruh? By thread, yahan dikh raha hai sab, thread, thread 2, thread 3. Thread is the basically smallest sequence of instruction that's managed independently by the, how to say it, bro? Imagine करो एक कोड लिखा है, तो उसका एक पार्ट जो उसको हम लोग इंडिपेंडेंटली तो मैनेज किया जा सकता है बाय अ शेड्यूलर. You got it? Let's see some images so that we will get it more. These are the processes. We have threads there, sequences of threads there, or say parts of the sequences there of code there, and there we have time. So in a certain time, the scheduler takes care of every damn thread and executes them. Here, thread pool. Hopefully clear, bro. You shouldn't just dig more into that. Okay, let's see what is reactive programming means. Reactive programming. It's not even in the slides. What is meant by reactive programming? Reactive programming. देखो क्या है इसमें. Reactive programming describes a design concept that relies on asynchronous, not happening at the same time, programming logic to handle real-time updates to otherwise static content. Basically, don't you think it's kind of right now I'm here and my mind is very reactive, right? if a thing comes and hit me, ow, I would take a note of that. So I am very reactive. Basically, that is what is trying to be said here. A design concept or say paradigm that relies on not in a single time happening programming executions or say logic to handle real-time updates. Basically, it handles real-time updates. Reactive programming makes a certain type of a code which can handle real-time updates. Hopefully clear. So let's get back. What the fuck? Desktop 1, desktop 1, desktop. Yeah. I am scared here. Okay. So yeah, we were here. It's very reactive. Angularjs, we understood what is Angularjs. Let's revise once again. Angularjs is a framework basically which is used to create single pages websites, and which grew popular because it's object oriented and reactive programming. Object oriented we understand, like Java is an object oriented and JavaScript is just a script oriented. Object oriented scripting, and it's talking about programming here, and it's very reactive. That means it takes real-time updates. Got it, bro. In 2010 AngularJs was formed. In 2011 ES5.1, ES5 was already launched in 2009, and 2011 ES5.1 was released with additional changes and was fully supported in all modern browsers. Got it? We got it. In 2013 React.js library was released with functional programming model. How to say? Basically, what are libraries, bro? JavaScript में libraries क्या होती हैं? Libraries ऐसी places होते हैं जिसमें बहुत सारे methods या फिर pre-installed functions होते हैं या फिर बहुत सारा actions होता है. Let me give you a good example. What are libraries in JS? The pre-written codes parts that can be used to refuse to perform common JavaScript actions or say functions. Basically, it's a bhandar, it's a store of different kinds of actions you can perform on a particular type of a data type. Oh, god damn it. This is too much for an introduction. People would give up, but whatever. Where were we, bruh? Okay, let's see if we didn't miss anything on this. What was this? Reactive programming model. Okay, what is reactive programming model? Move away from one thread per request model and can handle one more request and low of threads in less time. Basically, at the same time, real-time updates देना उसको कहते हैं reactive. अपडेट्स लेना या देना वट रियल टाइम में करना चीज़ है, इसी को कहते हैं रिएक्टिव. और थ्रेड्स क्या होते हैं इन सिंपल वर्ड्स? द सेट ऑफ स्मॉल इंस्ट्रक्शन डिजाइन टू शेड्यूल और एग्जीक्यूट अ सीपीयू इंडिपेंडेंटली ऑफ द पेरेंट प्रोसेस. बेसिकली एक बहुत बड़ा प्रोसेस हो रहा है, कोड एग्जीक्यूट किया जा रहा है, ठीक है, और उसके अंदर बहुत सारे क्या इंस्ट्रक्शंस हैं, उसको शेड्यूल करना, एग्जीक्यूट करना बिना जो मेन कोड एग्जीक्यूट कर रहा है उसको डिस्टर्ब किए, उसी को कहते हैं थ्रेड. वो स्मॉल पार्ट होता है. हाँ यार, हमको समझ में आ रहा है. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं, आपको भी समझ में आ रहा होगा. ओके, प्रोटोटाइप फॉर द स्ट्रिंग पैडिंग एंड व्हाट इज दिस? इंट्रोडक्शन टू नो shared memory, literals, synchronous iterations, Angular. This? Or just yeah, we got it. So we got it. समझ में आ गया हम लोग को इतना दूर तक? ऑफ कोर्स समझ में आया भाई, ऑफ कोर्स. तो रिएक्ट के बारे में हम लोग, रिएक्ट जेएस क्या होता है समझ में आ गया हम लोग को? नहीं, रिएक्ट जेएस क्या होता है नहीं पता हम लोग. रिएक्ट जेएस ये ऐसा दिखता है, ठीक है. रिएक्ट जेएस फ्री एंड ओपन सोर्स फ्रंट एंड जावास्क्रिप्ट लाइब्रेरी, भंडार ऑफ मेथड्स और एक्शन फॉर बिल्डिंग इंटरफेसेस ऑन यूआई, यूजर इंटरफेस. जैसे ये तुमको देख रहे हो ना, यूजर इंटरफेस, ग्राफिकल यूजर इंटरफेस या फिर टेक्स्ट बेस्ड यूजर इंटरफेस, यू नो, यूआईज क्रिएट करने में हेल्प आता है. ये देखो व्हाट इज यूज फॉर सिंगल पेजेस एप्लीकेशन, भाई उसी की तरह एंगुलर की तरह ही है ये, ठीक है। सिंगल पेजेस क्रिएट करने में मजा आता है, सिंगल पेजेस एप्लीकेशन क्रिएट करने में। और ES6 क्या है, फिर से रिवाइज कर लेते हैं। ECM script was created standard and ECS6 was sixth version of ECM. It was published in year 2015 and also known as ECM script 2015. Whatever, that's not important. तो आगे पढ़ते ना यार, आगे बढ़ते हैं ना यार, क्या ही कर रहे हैं हम लोग यार, आगे बढ़ते हैं। ओके, तो 5.1 में क्या होता है ES6 का, एडिशनल चेंजेस आता है, समझ में आ गया। 2013 में क्या रिलीज होता है, React.js आता है। React.js का क्या काम है, React.js एक तो लाइब्रेरी है, लाइब्रेरी मीन्स भंडार, जिसमें बहुत सारे एक्शंस है, फंक्शंस है, जो बेसिकली हम लोग को सिंगल वेब पेज क्रिएट करने में महारत हासिल करवा देता है। अब उसी साल में 2013 में React.js के साथ साथ Electron.js भी आया। Electron.js क्या है, पहले पढ़ लेते हैं। Electron.js framework was released to develop desktop apps with front and back end web languages। दिख रहा है भाई, Node.js की मदद से तब आप इंसान भाई अब वेब पेजेस ही नहीं, अब एप्स भी बना सकता है, ठीक है। जैसे ही वो लॉन्च हुआ भाई, उसके बाद देखो कितना कुछ लॉन्च हो गया। Electron.js लॉन्च हो गया, React.js हो गया, Angularjs लॉन्च हो गया। समझ में आ रही है आपको बातें ब्रा। Electron.js, what is Electron.js? We'll read through that too, bro. Electron.js, what is Electron.js? भाई कहाँ गया Electron.js यार? Electron.js, yeah, this is Electron.js. Electron is a free open source software like Angular, like React, like Node, developed and maintained by GitHub. GitHub is a thing जहाँ पे बहुत कोई पता नहीं फ्रीलांसर वेबसाइट्स में GitHub को बहुत बोलते हैं लिंक योर GitHub profile, whatever. It allows for the development for desktop GUI, graphical user interface applications using the web technologies. Basically भाई JavaScript का स्क्रिप्टिंग पार्ट को लेके आप एप्लीकेशंस भी क्रिएट कर सकते हैं। Basically that is what does it means. Okay. चिल मार ब्रा, तुम डीपली नहीं जाने, ठीक है, हम लोग को चिल मार। So so Electron.js is a framework है, ठीक है, बेसिकली जावास्क्रिप्ट से बनाया गया है। तो उसका कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट क्या हुआ इस फ्रेमवर्क का कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट क्या हुआ, जावास्क्रिप्ट, जो रिलीज़ किया था 2013 में, अलॉन्ग मतलब उसी साल जब React.js रिलीज़ हुआ था। और ये क्या करने में हेल्प करता है, डेस्कटॉप के ऐप्स क्रिएट करने में हेल्प करता है, फ्रंट एंड जो हम लोग को आगे में दिख रहा है एज वेल एज द कोड बिहाइंड, यू नो, करने में भी। एंड द माय लाइफ इज सो शिट। इन द ईयर 2014 Vue, what is vibrating? Me is vibrating. Vue.js framework was released and grew in popularity due to its reactive programming model. Reactive समझ में आ रहा है ना कि रियल टाइम में अपडेट्स को रिसीव करना, लाइक रियल टाइम में चेंजेस क्रिएट करना, या फिर चेंजेस क्रिएट करता हुआ ऑब्जर्व कर पा लेना, या फिर सेव कर पा लेना डेटा को रियल टाइम में, रियल टाइम अपडेट्स। Vue.js क्या है वो देखते हैं अब। Where is our Vue.js? Vue.js, Node.js। Node.js क्या है, एक बार फिर रीड कर लेते हैं। Node.js एन ओपन सोर्स क्लस्टर, ये तो रीड कर ली भाई, ये तो रीड किया था तो पहले। अब Vue.js क्या है वो पढ़ते हैं। जावास्क्रिप्ट लाइब्रेरीज, जावास्क्रिप्ट लाइब्रेरी, अच्छा जावास्क्रिप्ट लाइब्रेरीज क्या होता है वो भी लिखते हैं। जावास्क्रिप्ट इज अ कलेक्शन ऑफ प्री रिटन कोड, ये भी पढ़ लिया भाई, बेसिकली भंडार ऑफ मेथड्स को बोलते हैं लाइब्रेरीज। डिफरेंस क्या है जावास्क्रिप्ट और जावा में, यू भी देख ली। जावा क्या है, is an object oriented programming language, and whereas JavaScript is object oriented scripting language. Script basically automate करता है या फिर basically instruct करता है certain thing को do a certain thing. Word addition to, अब बहुत कम बचा है Vue.js। अब Vue.js क्या है? Vue.js an open source model view front end and JavaScript framework for building user interface single page applications। बस सेम है यार। It was created by even you and maintained by him for the rest of his team, by him and the rest of his team। साइज कितना 33 KB, what the fuck is this bro? whatever it is looks cool to me. बेसिकली भाई वेब इंटरफेसेस एंड जो भी बनाना है, बेसिकली ना तुम freelancers.com में जाओगे ना तो बोलेगा डू यू नो हाउ टू यूज react.js, डू यू नो हाउ टू यूज vue.js, डू यू नो हाउ टू यूज Angular, do you know how to use that? If you know, then you come and just I'll pay you for an hour, I'll pay you for, you know, itna dollars for an entire project, you know, just help me do a certain thing. Web development, we need something like that, we need something like that. उस पर वीडियोज आएगा कि नो कि इसमें कितने काइंड्स ऑफ जॉब्स प्रेजेंट है, उसमें वो भी बात करेंगे. तो vue.js क्या बस सिमिलर ही है यार, कुछ खास नहीं है. ठीक, बस अपडेटेड वर्जन्स मान लो सब चीज़ का, JS का फ्रेमवर्क का. I love you guys, I really love you guys. I'm so alone, bro. 2015 ES6 was released with okay, wait, yeah, we are into ES6, the final 2015 versions of JavaScript. The 6th version of ECMS script was launched in the year 2015. It was released with let, const, you know, these two keywords, and default parameter values, this also, and more array methods. We did go through what are the more array methods, right? Yeah, so before getting more into that, let me show you, you know, like let and the other was const. These are two keywords introduced in JavaScript in the ECMS script, the 2015 version of script, basically with a whole new functionality in the scoping. Const, you understand, right? Its value cannot be changed. It is used to create string literals, or say it is used to create literal data types, the values which cannot be changed, the values which are saved to a constant variable. So the constant thing and that. And the other was let. Let is, you know, similar to var, but it's different from var because of its whole new functionality in the scoping thing. Scoping means whether it would be global, or the other word for global is entirely available throughout the code, or it would be just available inside a block, or say curly brackets, whatever. Let's move forward. Let me show you something more. Don't need this one, nor I don't need this one too. Default parameters value. Are we going through the default parameters value? Yeah, different default parameters value. In ES6, a default parameters value was introduced. What is that? Default parameter value basically indicates that the function argument will take the value if no argument value is passed during the function call. Basically, it says, you know, when you write a function, right? Let me show you some images there. It will show you what does that mean. Okay. So basically, num1 is our parameter here, and when we try to console it out, it becomes an argument, you know, the same thing. But when it's written next to function, basically the first line of the function, then it's called the parameters. So when there is no value is placed in place of a parameter, it would be taken as undefined. That is basically the default value. That is basically the default parameter values. Okay, and many more arrays method. Array method, you understand, right? Which we went through. The different things we can do to an array. 10 things that were there. The 2013's update. Whatever. And now we are very close to the end. ES8 was released with a string padding. What is string padding? We'll see that. New object properties. Of course, properties means properties are like nouns of JavaScript. Basically, it's not a method, it's not a verb. Asynchronous function, basically things not happening at we'll go through asynchronous function too, we'll go through shared memory too. Oh, why did we go through ES8? After ES6 we should go through ES7. In the year 2016, I need to change my place. I need to change my place. In the year 2016, ES7 was released with exponential operator. Exponential operator, those start things. We'll show that what do I mean by start thing. And array prototype.includes. We'll go through what's that too. Okay, let's try to skip it. What's this? What's exponential operator I was talking about, right? This is an exponential operator. Basically you have seen power, like 2 ki power 5. You know, instead of using key power, you can use start. Basically result in raising the first operand to the power of the second operand. Let me show you with an image. Let me show you a very easy image. Yeah, this is it. Basically 5 exponential operator 2 equals to 5 key power 2 equals to 25. You get it, right? That was introduced in which year? So late it was updated here, 2016 in. Okay, then we have array prototype includes. Oh god, my legs. Array prototype includes, right? Array prototype includes methods determine whether an array includes a certain value among entries. Okay, I don't know. Array prototype includes. Okay. Basically array prototype includes means inside an array means those brackets, and inside there are different elements. It could be string, it could be numbers. Inside that array determines whether an array includes a certain value among the entries. Inside those elements, does it include a certain kind of a value? If you want, is A there inside that array? Is 5 there inside that array? Is E there inside an array? Is null inside that array? That would be decided by array.prototype.include method. Array.prototype.include method. We read through the exponential operator. Let's close it. Let's keep going. Okay. ES6 was released with the exponential operator, and okay, we did the ES6 exponential operator, that power thing, and the array prototype includes. Basically it checks whether an element is inside an array or not. In year 2017, ES8 was released with string padding. These are new concept, right? And new object properties, asynchronous functions, and shared memory. What are all of this? We'll go through them one by one. String padding. What is string padding in simple words? String padding refers to adding usually non-informative characters to a string, one or the both of on front end or back end of the string. You know, they are basically non-informative parts. Like look at here, we have defined a text, a variable with the let keyword, and we have equated it to a string named carrot, and then we use our variable name, and we use the dot operator, and then we write this, you know, pad start, the front part method, and we type in 9, then comma, then we put in carrot. So see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So basically it will fill it up with carrots, subtracting the pre-characters inside. Oh my god, what do I mean by that is, let me just show you. Oh, I can't even show you. Wait, let me open FreeCodeCamp. Let me just open FreeCodeCamp, the code editor here. Let me show you what is meant by that code. Oh, my back is aching so bad. My life is so suck. We'll use the let keyword when we'll define, say, let's use the same text, and we'll set it to, let's say, oil, and then we'll use the text keyword, the text variable again, and use the dot operator, and then we'll type pad start, okay, capital S. Okay, let's see if we did some mistake in typing that. Pad start, and then we type 9 and the character we want, pad start, and then we inside the bracket, as it's a function, we type in let's say 4, then we type in comma, and then we put our character there. I don't know if we can, I don't think it can execute characters like that. Let's put in dollar there. Let's see, console.log. I don't know, let's see. Wait, guys, wait. So basically it would output that, basically it's saying. So let's console it out. Type console.log and this, and let's edit it in a good way. Let's see. So can you see it here? Can you see it, guys? In front of all the text keyword, we are added with 4. Like instead of 4, if we write 6 there, so I think $3 would be there. You're getting it, bro. You're getting it, right? Just try to understand it, okay? It's such a cool thing. Okay, so that's called padding. That was brought in the year 2000 and basically in ES6 version of that. That's called string padding, adding non-informational things to that, not important things to a string. We did that. Now we will go to now the other one is new object properties. What do I mean by new object properties? New object oh, my mouse stripping. New object properties. New object properties, I think. New object properties. New object properties. Let me find the proper slide for that. New object. What is that? Is no. This is not that. No. Okay, I don't care. New object properties, bro. You know properties, like, right? Oh, we did discuss that. Properties means nouns, so they provide some new properties to the objects, like new properties to methods, even new properties to strings even can be provided. Like dot length is a what is length? Dot length is a property. Asynchronous functions. What are asynchronous functions? Let's see that. What is asynchronous functions? Okay, how to explain asynchronous iterations? What is this asynchronous function? Matlab, basically asynchronous functions means, you know, the functions which can handle, you know, a code being executed in a certain time frame and shared memory. We are just going through it, okay? We are just not understanding it. We need not to understand anything. You just need to go through all of this. If you want, you can just, you know, speed it up to 2x, or you can skip it. The advanced feature of JavaScript that threads constantly executes a part of the process can be leveraged. No, that's not what we want. What is shared memory? Feature threads. What is shared memory? The shared memory is an advanced feature of JavaScript. Okay, we need not to use that. Currently executed parts of a process. Sharing the memory means not having trouble of passing updated data between threads, and all the threads can access and update the same data in the shared memory. You're getting it, right? Let me see the images. Oh god, it's such a pain in the ass. I think I need a break. My brain is not working. Hey guys, what's up? I'm back. Oh fuck. So yeah, let's close this tab. So we did read about shared memory. So basically in ES8 it released string padding, that is adding nonsense things to our text. New object properties, there are different kinds of properties of a text of the object we can add. And asynchronous functions, you know, functions having to be executed at different times and shared memories. That happened in 2017. Let's happen to read 2018 one. In ES 2018 was released, and the rest and spread properties. What are these? We'll look into that too. Asynchronous iterations and final and that is, and other one is the promise.final. Finally, this is the method, and additions to regular expressions. What are all of this will be done? Okay, what is Acronis? Okay, what are the things we really need to know? Basic computer literacy, a reasonable understanding of JavaScript fundamentals, okay, including functions and events handlers. We don't know about functions, and nor we know something about functions, but we don't know about even handlers right now. Whatever that, it doesn't matter. We'll just try to make sense out of all of this still. Asynchronous. Basically, asynchronous. This one asynchronous. Asynchronous functions in JavaScript. Where this was a function declared with async keyword. Okay, what are the async keyword and things? Basically, this is the asynchronous functions. How to say? Prototype, you can say, or say an example of asynchronous function. We type the async keyword there, and with the keyword permitted within it, and the awaited keyword permitted within it. Now what does that mean? I'll look into it again. You know, this awaited keyword inside it. So basically that becomes an asynchronous function. This. So what's literals in JavaScript? Basically, literals are the constant values assigned to the constant variables. That is, using the const keyword, when you create a variable and you assign some value to that, that becomes a literal. Asynchronous literals in JavaScript in single words. Are we reading the last part of this? Yeah. So basically, here we have asynchronous iterations. Asynchronous iterations is needed when values come asynchronously, that is after some set timeout, okay, or other kind of delay. Then we use the asynchronous iteration. The most common case is that when object needs to make a network request to deliver the next value. We'll see a real life example of it a bit later. I don't know. Okay, yeah, for us also we'll see a real-time example of that a bit later. No, we'll see some images for that. Asynchronous iterations. This is example of synchronous versus this is asynchronous iterations, for example. Async. This is the request. This is the event loop single, and this is registered callback intense file system database, and the operation completes and triggers a callback and then comes back the request. Yeah, these are the thing. Just basically getting familiar with these words. What are these words? And then we have the promise dot. Finally, I promise you I'll not leave you. Bullshit. Okay, where did it go? Wait though, where did it go, bruh? Where did it go? I mean, where is rest and spread properties? Rest and spread, what does that mean? Basically, spread means expand an array. Okay, expand an array into elements. You know that array contains elements, like break it down into elements. And rest means basically collecting all of these elements and making it in a condensed form into a single element. That's it. Okay, we'll see some examples of this. JavaScript rest versus spread operator. What does that mean? Look into this. These this box, you see, and this side, this box, there are different elements. Yes or no? There's elements and contents into one element. Yeah, that's it. JavaScript uses the ... for both REST and spread operators, but these two operators are not the same. The main difference between the REST and spread is that the REST operator puts rest of some specific user supplied values into JavaScript arrays. Okay, they put it into array, condense it, but the spread syntax expand the iterables into individual elements. How to say, bro? Let's see, for example, these are the different kinds of elements, or say texts inside an array. Okay, so basically the REST and spread, the spread operator basically converts every damn element, that array into elements. Got it, bro? Got it. Do you get it? Okay. What is iterations? Basically iterations mean repetitions of the same thing. What is this? This looks like a very interesting image to me. Request, planning, initial planning, evaluation, testing, development. The basic cheese. Now we have promise.prototype. The finally method returns a promise. Okay, when a promise is finally either fulfilled or rejected, the specified callback function is executed. Okay, a certain function is executed if a certain promise is accepted, or say fulfilled or rejected. This provides a way to code to run whether the promise is fulfilled successfully or instead rejected. Okay, that basically helps a callback return. This helps to avoid duplicating code in both promise and this and that. The promise, finally, the promise, not finally method is used. We'll see everything soon, but not right now. Experiment completed, as it failed to execute it, but somehow it returned the code because we are using finally there, finally operator, and this was brought in ES6. Okay, the last one was addition to regular expressions. That is here, addition to regular expression. What does that mean by that? Regular expressions are the patterns used to match characters combination in strings. In JavaScript, regular expressions also objects. We all know regular expressions, right? Regular expressions are basically, we search for regular expression. You know that regular expression. What does it mean? Regular expression basically means to search a thing, search for certain text and manipulate them. So basically adding regular expressions. Okay, let's be more specific, like addition of regular expression. Regular addition expression. A regular expression is followed by plus, concatenate, matches one or more occurrence of one or character regular expression. If there are any choice, the first matching string line is used. A regular expression followed by a question mark. Basically understand, we just need to concatenate different kind of regular expression. Basically, get it or not? Do you get it or not? Basically, regular expressions means when you search a text in a volume of data and you can even manipulate or say change it later on. Let's say it was dog, you change it to cat by searching it, basically manipulating it. And how can we do that? There's a certain specification while we do that, when we do the addition of those regular expressions. Okay, that's it, bro. We did this too. Okay, let's move down. We covered this somehow, bro. Now hopefully the video is started. Oh god, it was started. I don't know how long this video has become. Oh, I'm not happy with myself. Now you may be asking, what makes the update in 2015 still relevant today, right? When there are more recent updates like ES7 and ES8. Why ES6? Why 2015? Why not 2018 or why not 2021s? Well, despite the releases of the newer versions, ES6 is actually the biggest update made to ESMA script. Since the first edition release in 1997, okay, do you remember first? It was released in 1997. Okay, some developers even refer to ECS6 as modern JavaScript because all of the major additions into that thing. There are some great features and added to the help JavaScript developers that includes new keywords like let and const. We know what we do that. We just declare variables using that, create variables using that. A new function syntax using arrow functions. What we mean by that would be seeing that here right now and down. creating classes. And well, what is classes? What is classes, bro? What are classes in JavaScript? Basically, class is a template which is used to create objects. Like we use the class keyword there, and then we type the variables, then we type our object's name. We have written here employee. Then inside the curly brackets, we must type constructor method in order to make it an object. This is called following how to say, the following the classes template. Yeah, why do we use constructor there? Okay, the constructor method is special method of a class creating and initializing object of the instance. Basically, after that you can add objects, after that you can add objects to your classes. Parameters with default values, we have discussed that, right? It will take a default value if you don't, default value is undefined if you don't initialize your parameter with something, and many more. A promise for asynchronous action, we did that, right? Promise happens, basically when a promise is executed, then whether that code is rejected or say accepted, we get an output. Asynchronous means code being executed, delayed code being executed, maybe because of that's a time bound thing or something, and many more features. Up-to-date browsers can support ES6 features, which allow developers to take advantage of these new additions. ES6 ultimately allow programmers to save time and more concise code. Take an example of the pre-ES6 syntax. Like initially, let's bring our no, I don't think we need that. I don't think we need the code editor right now. Whatever, we have defined a variable var, and we have used the name greeting, and we have equated it to a function. We don't know anything what function is. We don't know anything which even written there. Why did we read that? Just to get familiar. So get familiar with this function part too. This function is defined, and here we have no parameter inside. So basically, default parameter is taken undefined, and then we have a code. We have a certain block of code inside the function, which will be executed when we would be consoling out our greeting variable. When we'll console greeting, this function will be executed, and inside the function there is console log output, which basically will print out something to our console, hello world. I think we need our code editor here. Okay, free code camp. Porn is a bad thing. Wait, yeah, let's define this. We'll use the var keyword, and then we use our greeting as our keyword. Okay. Why it is, my mouse pad is really pathetic. Greeting as our keyword, and then we equate it to a function, say function, and here we are using our brackets, and then we are using curly brackets. Let's give some space here, and then we use the console.log. Inside that we use hello world, right? Hello world. I know world is small, world is big. No, I'm saying world is lowercase. Hello world. No, it's who writes this? Sometimes it's small, sometimes big. Okay, hello world. Oh, okay, semicolons 2 times first. So let's see, when we type here greeting, I don't know, console.log greeting. Okay, function greeting. Why isn't it working? I don't know, bro, why it's not working. For now, let's drop that. Now we can do the same thing by typing const greeting equal to this. Okay, let's type this down then. Let's type it out. I don't know why it's not working. Oh fuck, console.log greeting. I don't know why it's not working. I think we'll just need to type greeting. And yeah, we're done. We have defined a variable name greeting and where we queried it. I think we did some. Why is it not working? I think I understand some understanding error, I guess. Function greeting. Why don't it work? Why doesn't it work? I don't know. Let's try the other one. Let's try the other part. This part. Copying and pasting because I'm that tired. Let's console.log. We type here. If you're not able to find a solution to this video, you'll find another video. Function is equal to greeting. Why? I don't know how to call a function. I don't know how to call a function, bro. Basically, I don't think we can even console it out. Whatever. However, arrow functions are not just simply, syntactically rewritten. Basically, it's saying, बस यहाँ पे दिखने में different नहीं हो गया. There are other ES6 features involved in this. There are other underlying benefits and a trade-off to consider. Nonetheless, there have been strong adoption of ES6 in development community. Benefits of such as ES6 syntax makes it easier and utilize the popular programming concepts, object-oriented programming, and this change allowed developers and other language who used object-oriented programming can now transition to learning the JavaScript object-oriented program scripting. Another reason for the popularity of ES6 is correlated with the usage of ES6 in popular frameworks like React. React is really famous. React, we have Angular, we have Vue, we have Node. These are different types of frameworks. So if you want to learn the newest tools of the framework, you will just need to pick up ES6 along the way. This being said, we shouldn't disregard the legacy code. Yeah, we'll fuck our head more into this. The older version of JavaScript. In fact, there are still many projects that are built and maintain the legacy code. If you want the ability and the freedom to work on any sort of JavaScript project, you should familiarize yourself with pre-ES6 and ES6 JavaScript syntax. But don't worry, you cover both ES6 and pre-ES6 and ES6 and our JavaScript course. Check it out, become a rock star in JavaScript basics and learn fundamental programming skills. Why was not these code executed? I don't know, let me give a search. How to execute a function in JS. Am I a very bad person? The function. I don't know. I don't know. How to execute it? I don't know how to execute this. I don't know for now, because we have very less understanding about how functions work. Maybe that's why we are not able to do that. So that's why it's a good thing. Let's keep moving forward. We'll soon learn it. But we should just know the different ways of writing things in ES6. The same function, creating a variable, assigning it to a function, and then using curly brackets and consoling and things like that. We can do it in a single line. We can use a const keyword, and we'll set it. We'll use our variable greeting. We'll equate it to this parenthesis. These are the symbols for, I think, function. Then we'll use equal to and this arrow, and we'll console.log the hello world. Basically this part is same, the last part is same, and instead of writing function there, we have just used this, and instead we have used equal to sign. Yeah, equal to sign has been used. Var ke jagah you have const here, and the difference is this arrow, the arrow function, syntax using arrow functions. Whatever, bro. Chill, okay? Catch you up in the new video. Consider subscribing. Get tired.